Hello, this is Chandra Watson from the Watson Twins, and you're gonna ask me some questions.
You're from Kentucky?
Yes, I am from Kentucky.
How much do you love bourbons?
You know, it's a joke there that once you're born in Kentucky, you know, you're born and then your mother puts whiskey in your bottle along with the milk just to kind of like ease you into, you know, getting started in the world.
Kentucky Derby, fan?
Of course, yeah. My sister and I live in California now, but every year we have a Kentucky Derby party and make all the California folks dress up in some fancy duds and eat Southern cooking. So it's pretty fun. We watch the race and bet on the race and all that stuff.
How do you like the touring life?
You know, I like it a lot, actually. I think that it definitely takes a certain personality type to be able to do it. You have to be resourceful and kind of just go with the flow type vibe about yourself, because otherwise you'll get bent about everything that goes on. I mean, it's really, you're dealing with everyone's personalities and everybody's agendas and what they want to happen, and I think that's sometimes it can take you on a great adventure and sometimes it can take you, you know, to a place you don't want to go. So I think it's good. I think it's difficult. It's a difficult life, but it suits me for now, you know. I'm sure at probably like 65 I wouldn't want to be doing this.
All the way
It's definitely for a young person's career, you know, for sure.
So when did you begin performing? You said 10 years ago or so?
Yeah, my sister and I, when we were little kids, we used to sing in church choir, and so we did a lot of singing in church growing up. And then as we got older, around 16, 17, we ended up just starting to write music, and from there moved to California and got in some bands and have been working on stuff ever since then.
So where's your love of music taken you?
All over the U.S., Europe, Japan, and Canada. Yeah, it's been good. It's been nice to get up into Canada, because the last time we played here we only got to see Vancouver and Toronto, and so it's nice to see Montreal. Everyone always talks about how beautiful it is here, so it's nice to finally come and see the truth.
So meeting Jenny Lewis, are you guys still on speaking terms?
Oh yeah, we actually just had a barbecue right before. She's on Rilo Kiley tour right now, and we met up in DC just about, I don't know, 4 or 5 days ago. Our shows overlapped there, and so we had a celebratory beer after our shows were over and just kind of touch base, and so it's good fun. You know, it's so great to play with different people, and then when you cross paths on the road, it's a nice surprise, and you feel like, you know, those are people that you're going to continue to keep singing and playing with, and it sort of just broadens your musical universe.
You following your own agendas here on the road?
You know, pretty much for my sister and I, we sort of have taken the role of like being, you know, the ones in charge. It's our project.
Is it still exciting getting up and performing every night?
You know, it's really great. It's you know, it's this funny thing which I'm sure every artist sort of you come to terms with is, you know, when it becomes more of a profession, there are elements of it that aren't always fun, you know. A lot of driving, a lot of hustling around, and deadlines, and, you know, a lot of pressure, but that's, the stage is the one place where you can forget all that and just have fun.
Have you pulled off any hustles on the road?
Not yet.
People trash any hotel rooms, and then that being said, do you feel like you're missing out on anything being fully into this lifestyle?
No, not really, because I feel like, you know, when anyone who signs up to sort of dedicate their life to some kind of art form, you know, you spend a lot of time struggling and trying to make at work and making ends meet and all that stuff. And I think that in a way the stress and all that stuff is actually part of the payoff, which is you're fortunate enough to be stressed out by your art as opposed to having to punch a time clock at the McDonald's or something like that. So I feel like it's a fortunate place to be.
You know, it's weird. I think in some ways, like, it's like you appreciate the still. Like when you go home, you appreciate being still and being like sleeping in your bed every night and seeing your friends and that kind of thing. But I also feel like there's a certain sense of adventure that you get on the road that you can't, you know, people hunger for it. Like a lot of musicians come home and they're bored, you know, and they're like, I got to get back out there again, man. I got to get back out there. And it's true. It's like a drug or something. You know, once you get a taste of it, it's hard to go back to not being on stage every night and not feeling that reciprocation for your art, you know.
Are you into any other kinds of art?
You know, I went to school actually for painting, and I haven't done it for a long time, but I definitely am an appreciator of that and photography, and those were the two things that I studied in school. Once the music sort of took the front seat, I kind of didn't look back. I think it's hard, like, once you step away from something like that to really, you know, you have to be 110%. You have to pour your soul into it. It's like your art. I totally admire those people who can do, you know, multiple mediums and use video and sound and everything, you know, to make a piece of art. But for me, it's like I really have to focus on like words and music and how those two things are married together.
I think music is really, I don't know, it's a really interesting art form because so much can be taken from it. I think it's really personal, you know. I've had people come up to me and say, oh, is this song about this or that, you know, and I'm like, actually it has nothing to do with that, you know, but I don't tell them that, you know. I'm like, oh, really? That's great. I'm glad that you like the song, you know. But I think that it is such a personal, even for the listener, it's personal for me writing it, but the listener's going to get something completely different out of it. And I think that's the great thing about music. It's like you can write a million songs in your room at home, but unless you share it with somebody, like, I don't know if you necessarily get the full, you know, experience of what music can do to people.